This video is sponsored by Noom. Go take your own free 30-second quiz using the link in the description to get started on your journey with Noom right now. A man walks into a famous fast food place in an airport, not because he's a big fan of this particular type of food, but because he has little time before boarding his flight and there aren't too many other food options. His resolve not to eat a lot crumbles no sooner than he's dazzled by all the familiar bright colors around him. He was sure he was going to be sensible, but 15 minutes after entering the place, he's consumed 2,000 calories and doesn't feel too great about it. What he doesn't know is exactly what he has consumed. He's also blissfully unaware of how his brain has been manipulated on several occasions. He's been prey to a business predator that doesn't always tell you how exactly it goes about its work. Today, all will be revealed. Number 8. This is your brain on a large Oreo shake. You all probably agree that sugar is nice. What you might not know is that researchers have pointed to its addictive qualities, something fast food restaurants are very aware of. A hit of sugar, like many drugs in the world, releases feel-good chemicals in your brain. When you eat sugar, you get a small blast of opioids and dopamine, and you feel ever so slightly high. That's why sugar is loaded into many fast food products. You're not just eating junk food because you like it, there's also an element of you needing it. But it goes further than this. You see, we humans evolved in a time where food was scarce. We had to hunt for food, which was often hard, dangerous work. Therefore, we hunted for food items that had a lot of calories and gave us the most energy. These days, you don't have to fight off a pride of hungry lions to get your hands on a piece of beef. In fact, fast food restaurants are everywhere and they're usually cheap. The food items are packed with calories, and so that's one reason we go to those places. Not only that, the food comes to you fast, and so your brain's reward system triggers fast. Convenience is also addictive, and that's why you see so many fast food restaurants and why they offer drive-thru options at certain places. It's all about getting a quick fix. Lastly, there's the Pavlovian thing. You might have heard of Pavlov's dog, which relates to experiments undertaken by Russian psychologist Ivan Pavlov. In short, he figured that when a dog heard the sound of its dinner bell, the sound itself made the dog salivate. So why do you think every time you go to a fast food restaurant, you see and hear all the same things? It's because your brain associates all the familiar colors and symbols and sounds with a rewarding experience. You only have to look at a fast food joint to start salivating. The reason for that is the place's consistency. Number 7. They know how our minds work. Studies have shown that when less energy is put into ordering food, we'll make worse choices. Basically, it's less likely you'd go for large fries if the server didn't ask you if you'd like to boost the size of your meal. In fact, you might not go for the fries at all if someone didn't ask you, "Do you want fries with that?" Scientists believe that we feel less guilty when someone asks us to order a bit more, since there's less responsibility on the buyer. They're not asking you out of curiosity, they're manipulating you. When we say you, we mean of course the company, not the server. It works too. Some sources say in 1 year, McDonald's makes an extra $28 million in revenue just from upsizing its products for people. As a consumer, you might get into a place with the best intentions of not eating too much, but as soon as you're asked if you want more, you will get more. As the New York Times once wrote, when McDonald's asks if you want fries with it, it already knows the answer. It's not just the spoken word either. Lately, some fast food restaurants have invested in technology that shows customers many other options on a bright screen stationed in front of where they're standing. If you're visiting a drive-thru restaurant, new technology can now recognize your license plate and quickly understand what you ordered in the past. That way, the company knows what options to flash up in front of you. It'll know if you're partial to supersizing meals or buying a milkshake. As one person told the New York Times, these sorts of technologies are making it hard for people to just find some reasonable moderation. It's the same with value meals. The restaurants know very well that you'll more often than not go for them even though you went in with the best intentions of getting one solitary burger. You see, when you look at prices, a place in your brain called the orbital frontal cortex starts to fire up. Scientists have found that when a person buys something knowing there was a better deal, brain activity shows some amount of pain. That's the reason there's always a good offer, only if you spend more and eat more. In a nutshell, as soon as you walk through the door, there's a lot of manipulation going on. But as you'll soon see, maybe that's the least of your worries. Number 6. The portions keep getting bigger. Since the 1950s, the USA and a slew of other countries have reported an obesity crisis, and in some part, you can blame fast food. You can find lots of restaurants that have sandwiches that contain just under or just over 1,000 calories. And that's before you start counting calories in the drinks and the fries. Burger King's The Rodeo King of Sandwich weighs in at 1,250 calories. Dairy Queen's 6-piece basket of honey hot glazed chicken strips contains 1,600 calories. A 12-inch classic Italian sub at Quiznos has 1,400 calories in it. And that's a lot of calories to be consuming. Try burning those items off at the gym and you'll find yourself having to walk home with the elliptical machine on your back. Back in the day, there was no such thing as these giant meals. We're living in an era of the mega burger. The thing is, we're suckers for punishment. If Restaurant A offers a bigger burger than Restaurant B and they cost the same, we generally go for the value option. Remember, it's painful to not feel we've gotten a good deal. The drinks are much better too. In the 50s, a soda was just 7 ounces. These days, a small soda is 16 ounces and a large is 32. Some restaurants have been known to offer 64-ounce drinks, which might contain 800 calories. Add to that a large fries with around 460 calories in many places, as well as a burger, and you've got yourself a meal containing almost as many calories as an average person should consume in an entire day. There's also the fact that restaurants have over time renamed their drinks. For some places, what used to be known as large is now medium. What used to be medium is now small. Customers think they're getting a really great bargain, but you have to remember that food costs are less than operating costs for the restaurants. Giving you more doesn't hurt them so much. They just want to keep you coming back. Number 5. Tattooed food. When you order something that's supposedly been flame grilled, it likely hasn't gone through the process. It'll still have those black grill marks on it, but those have been added to the meat during processing. The marks are actually branded on by the supplier. As for the smoky taste, that comes from the processing period too. It's called adding solution to the patties, with some patties being made up of around 20% solution. This solution might consist of a bunch of preservatives, salt, animal fats, and flavorings. According to the experts, it works. People love seeing those grill marks even though they should know they're not real. It's good for the companies since paying for branded grill marks is a lot cheaper than installing grills in the restaurants. Instead, the meat is blasted with hot air when it's first cooked, and then it might have a date with a machine that makes the grill mark, such as the CM42 char maker. Now for something a little more frightening. Number 4. What's in a chicken nugget? McDonald's has taken a lot of flack over the years for its famous Chicken McNuggets and their lack of chicken. But if you go to the company's website now, you'll read they contain 100% white meat chicken. Still, you can find a study published by the American Journal of Medicine in 2013 that talked about many chicken nuggets that were tested by scientists. The study didn't mention which restaurants' nuggets were featured, but said after testing it found at most places the nugget consisted of around 50% meat. So what was in the rest of the nuggets, you might wonder with some degree of consternation? The scientists wrote they found ground-up bone, blood vessels, nerve, and connective tissue. Even worse, scientists at the University of Mississippi Medical Center said what can often be found is a similar mashup as you might find in a dog food. This is the sludge-type meat you've all likely seen, sometimes called meat slurry or liquefied meat. There's something called mechanically separated meat. This is basically a process in which all the meat left on the animal carcass is blasted off and then put through a sieve. The entire animal is not ground down and turned to mush, but all the edible tissue comes off. You might still find this kind of meat in things such as hot dogs and chicken nuggets, or even some patties. But if what you're eating contains mechanically separated meat, by law, the packaging should state as such. This kind of process doesn't involve any beef since people were concerned about mad cow disease. When it comes to pork, only 20% of your hot dog, if bought in the US, can contain the sludge. With chicken, it seems the product could contain 100% mechanically separated meat. As for it being a public health risk, most experts say if the product has been made in a safe environment, then it should be safe as any other meat. It's also usually treated with something called ammonium hydroxide. This is to get rid of dangerous bacteria. Still, the European Food Safety Authority said high-pressure production processes increase the risk of microbial growth. Number 3. Would you like a finger with that? You might not be surprised to hear that sometimes strange and even dangerous things are found in the products at fast food restaurants. It said in 2019, McDonald's sold 2.36 billion burgers worldwide. That worked out to around 75 burgers a second. Burger King sells a similar number of burgers. So if you add up all sales from all fast food restaurants, well, the numbers are mind-boggling. That's one reason why sometimes things go wrong, and when they do, you can be sure you'll hear about it. In 2011, it was reported that a man in the US was suing Burger King after eating a triple-stacker burger and finding a needle from a syringe had pierced his tongue. During his 6-day stay in the hospital, another needle was retrieved from the man's small intestine. In 2010, the media reported that a man had settled out of court after he bit into a Burger King burger and discovered it contained a condom. According to the guy's lawyer, he sustained pain and suffering, vomiting, nightmares, mental and emotional distress. Sure he did. In 2008, a guy in the UK had just opened his sweet chicken chili sandwich from Subway only to find a 4-inch knife baked into it. His wife later said something small like a hair you could understand. Accidents happen, but not a knife. That same year at a Subway restaurant in New York City, a man said he found a 7-inch blade in his sandwich. He apparently only got as far as biting into the handle. Other things found in fast food meals have been Band-Aids, feathers, lungs, a human tooth, chicken heads, a mouse, bullets, painkillers, household nails, human skin, and even a finger. Quite a few bits of fingers have been found, in fact, notably one at Arby's. A woman once tried to claim compensation from Wendy's on another occasion after saying she'd found a finger. The truth was she placed it there herself. She'd been given it by her husband, who bought it from a coworker who had an accident at work. Number 2. Healthy might not be healthier. Okay, so you're the type of person who only eats all the healthy stuff when you go to a fast food restaurant. You know, the items like the taco salad. Well, when you look at all the things those salads contain, they aren't a healthy option at all. The average fast food taco salad may contain 900 calories and 55 grams of fat. That's as much as the average burger and fries. Then there are items such as the McDonald's fruit and maple oatmeal. This kind of thing was created to attract more health-conscious people to the restaurant. It's not actually that healthy though, just because it contains a lot of sugar. You'll get some health benefits from such a meal, but it's also like eating a full candy bar. The word bland is usually not in a fast food chain's vocabulary. Maybe you like to go for the salad option, but the problem with fast food salads is they so often come with those tasty creamy sauces, bits of bacon, fried chicken, or tacos. That's the conclusion that was come to by the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine when they went in search of fast food salads. McDonald's Crispy Bacon Ranch salad, for instance, had more fat and calories than a Big Mac. Cheesecake Factory's Barbecue Ranch chicken salad contains 1,250 calories. The same goes for some smoothies. They can contain a lot of sugar, sometimes having as much as 900 calories. The truth is, fast food restaurants are just likely not the best places to go if you want to eat healthy and are counting calories. As for pizza, the most wonderful invention bestowed on humankind, doesn't it sometimes come with olives, onions, and other veggies that we can feel proud of eating? Well, you should know that Americanized fast food pizza is different from your traditional Italian pizza, especially if it was actually made in Italy. American fast food pizzas usually contain much more bread, way more fat, way more salt, lower quality ingredients, and are generally just much more calorific. Remember, this is all about you coming back for more and feeling like you got a good deal. We looked at how many calories were in one slice of a fast food restaurant's 14-inch large pizza. It all depends on the style of pizza and, of course, what the toppings are. One slice could be as low as 180 calories if it's just cheese and tomato pizza, but if you're thinking about eating all 8 or 10 slices, that's still a lot of calories. One slice of Pizza Hut's Supreme Pizza contains 400 calories and 740 milligrams of sodium. How many of those could you eat? The American Heart Association says you should try and consume less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium a day. We're guessing some of our viewers could easily finish a full large Pizza Hut pie. Some other pizzas we found contain over 600 calories a slice and over 1,400 milligrams of sodium. Burger joints might find themselves being criticized the most, but in terms of sheer calories, eating full pizzas is arguably the biggest enemy at the gates to your belly. Then again, swing by Wendy's and grab yourself a pretzel bacon pub triple cheeseburger, 1,520 calories, 1,910 milligrams of sodium, and then head over to Sonic for an Oreo peanut butter shake, 1,720 calories, 1,040 milligrams of sodium, and get yourself the Cajun fries from Popeyes, 804 calories, 1,761 milligrams of sodium, and you won't be faring much better than the pepperoni pizza addicts of this world. Number 1. Crowded burgers. Some of you might think that when you eat a slab of meat from a burger restaurant, you're eating one cow. That couldn't be further from the truth. Your patty could contain bits of meat from over 100 cows. This doesn't mean it's any less ethical or more dangerous than eating a piece of steak, but some people have said we are so detached from what we eat that we don't even think about the hundreds of animals living on packed farms that go into one patty. Fast food firms seem to have cleaned up their act somewhat when it comes to how cattle are treated, but let's be honest here, industrialized farms can't be the best places in the world. As for the slaughter, well, that just sounds awful. Reports state that sometimes the transportation part is cruel, with one worker saying he saw partly conscious animals being cut up after a terrible ride in a truck. It's hardly a secret that cattle and poultry on some of those massive industrial farms sometimes have an existence from an animal nightmare. But fast food restaurants would rather show you cartoonish images of animals than chickens suffocating in their own poo. We can't speak for all farms in all countries, of course, but we can't deny the horrors of factory farming. Those farms are generally kept as far away from the consumer's eyes as possible. For good reason too, because they might turn you off of the food. But we've saved the best secret about food for last. I've been trying out Noom for the last couple of weeks, and I'm learning a whole new way to think about food and eat healthier. After taking their free quiz, Noom provided me with a customized plan, with everything broken down into a series of easy-to-understand mini-courses. Fans of the Infographics show will love these, since they aren't just about what to eat, but why certain foods are better than others and the psychology behind why we eat the way we do. Their meal logging tool is the best I've ever tried, with a simple color-coding system that makes it easy to see the calorie density of foods you've consumed and how many in each group you should try to have the rest of the day. So it won't feel like you ruined your day just because you hit a fast food drive-thru for lunch. Go take your own free 30-second quiz using the link in the description to get started on your journey with Noom right now. You need to watch this. What if you only drank Coke or soda and nothing else? Or for something to make you laugh. I only ate fast food for 30 days and this is what happened. Funny challenge.